In tonight's video, I'm going to show you five different and distinct images of Antarctica to prove that there is something major they are hiding from you down there. Now, everyone is familiar with this image from Google Earth Pro. I want to draw everyone's attention to this bay feature that we would call, 1 o'clock, right here. Of course, Antarctic Peninsula being 12, right over here. Now, moving in very close, and I, at this point in time, have the historical imagery box up in the upper left here. I just want to show this. There's a series of boxes when you download this program. One will allow you to put a push pin, create paths and polygons, add image overlays. There's one that looks like a clock with an arrow moving counterclockwise, and it'll say show historical imagery. Now, I'm going to zoom in right here and show you something. Do you see this, what looks like just iceberg island thing right here? Watch what happens when I turn off the historical imagery. It goes away. Now, the vast majority of users of Google Earth Pro want, of course, the most updated imagery, so they aren't really interested in historical imagery. Now, stay with me. We've established that that little island isn't shown in Google Earth Pro without the historical imagery box checked. All right. Now, let me show you 3 other maps. This one I haven't shown in a while, and it's really a breathtaking one. This is the Antarctic Peninsula here off to our left, so we're looking as if we were in South America. Do you see this right here where I'm circling? This is that island. Now you look at this and it's like, that's a lot bigger than even Google Earth Pro shows. That's pretty incredible. It gets better. Let me show you another image taken. Now this is what we've called the British topographical map. And this is what they took using imagery that sees right through the ice and shows nothing but areas that would be land. Now, if we melted away all the ice, right here, it shows that there is a piece big enough to register with that equipment right here. Let me show you another map. Now this is based on the same data. Let me see if I can zoom here. Do you see this right here? This is what Antarctica would look like if there hadn't been ice, what the land would have been before it was frozen. Because, of course, the weight of all that ice has changed the topography. It all shows an island right here. A big island. Now, that's 4 images. Here's the 5th one. I showed this before, a couple days ago. This was taken from a stationary satellite above. Look right here. See that white dot? It even registered on this map. So there is an island here. Now, why was I looking at this to begin with? For all of my guys out there, guys and gals, I should say, that are fisher people that like to fish, you know to find these areas where they would be out of the current but near the current. That's where fish would be. I've talked about this before, the leeward areas. See how all these storms swirl right up on the coast like this? This bay, this harbor, would be a catch-all right here. Of course, currents would bring things in, and it would settle right here, right near this island. Also, if there was ever going to be a place where modern man could exist for any extended amount of time out on the water, doing any type of activity, this would also be it. Protected by this giant bay, this giant harbor, to keep out of the storms. Now, I know I'm 5 minutes in. What does this all mean? All right. There's an area, and this was brought to me by a viewer, that someone had said, I found something and I don't know what I'm looking at. Can you help? I waited a day or two and I'm like, all right, I'll look and see what it is. Now, back in 2010, remember that year, there was an event in the Gulf of Mexico related to BP. I'm not going to mention the exact name of the event that caused the devastation in the Gulf of Mexico related to BP in April of 2010. But anyone associated with it or near it would know what they are looking at here. There was a great deal of substance related to that event that was unaccounted for. Now, here's the kicker. Here's the proof. If you tick on the historical imagery box, which is why I started with that, okay, it'll of course, I'll show this, say 9/26/2019. Click one line back. There's going to be lines that show up here. In this particular case, there's only 3. The modern image, an image from December 10, 2011, and then all the way back to 99. This is the December 10, 2011 image. Everything else, look what happens when you zoom out. See how it's not there? You have to be looking specifically for this. This is a giant oil slick, 3.5 square kilometers, just this section. And to prove that that's the case, if you go back to 99, it ain't there. And I have tried to use the camera to tilt up. Sometimes you can trick the camera or trick the historical imagery box, and it'll give you, do you see how all these different lines popped up? And I can get images now from 3, 2004, 2005, 6, not there. Go up to 2009, not there. 2010, not there. 2011, magically, a year after, not even. Actually, a little more than, pardon me, December 2011. So yeah, that would be a year and some change more. This shows up. Now, the reason I focused on that island is because that would be area prime number 1 for hand-of-man intervention on this continent. Just because it's protected. Many people have said, why don't you do a GoFundMe for some type of a expedition down there? Guys, the weather, the distance, the logistics involved would take tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, and there's only a very few corporations on the planet that have that kind of money to spend, and one of them is BP, big oil. I believe this is remnants of that. And this is why I think they are trying to direct people away from that imagery. Because look what you see when you're just even at, well, I mean, it's eye altitude 45 miles, but you can't even see the whole continent covering that. I had a whole bunch of other stuff I was going to cover today. But honestly, to me, this by itself should probably stand alone and not be distracted with anything else. Given the year that this showed up, given where it is, that we can show that this particular area would have piqued a lot of interest. Part of me wonders if this doesn't have anything to do with Deepwater Horizon if maybe they had been drilling down there and the spill happened from a rig that we don't know about that's in Antarctica. I'm kind of ambivalent, but I'm really thinking this is remnants of deep water. So, anyway, I'll give you the coordinates. You can come look for yourself. It starts in 2011, and it's only this one corner. Now, strangely enough, even in the low-res imagery, you can kind of see this brownish, and it continues all the way down the coast, or I should say up the coast, because this is back counterclockwise. And it would make sense to the currents, too. Because, of course, the Gulf is here, and we know how the currents swirl and take everything out to sea. If it got down here, that's exactly where it would have landed. Just because of the way leeward areas just grab stuff and hold them. That's why you find the fish there. Because they've learned this. They know. If you hang out right here, right at the edge of leeward areas, the body of water you're in, whether it's a river or a lake or whatever, if there's any kind of current, it will just bring the food to you. So, anyway, but like I said, I will show you these pictures one more time. This one is by far my favorite image of Antarctica, because it really shows in detail. There's even things in this image that I could use to prove civilization. You'd have to zoom in, and maybe, you know what, I'll throw this up on the Google Drive thing, and you can download this image for yourself. Right here, it's super tiny, but there's a series of equidistant islands, like 6 of them, right here, and it looks nearly identical to Italy, this peninsula. And it looks like these were created for a port. So, anyway, just theory, but there's this, and it shows that island, and this shows the island right here. And the British topographical map also shows the island. And even this little white dot right here, this image taken from space, shows that island right here. It also shows something else that maybe we'll cover in another video. Right here, there's something dark right in the center here. I'd like to really know what that is. But anyway, I'll let you guys go. Google Earth Pro. Absolutely no evidence of it, unless you tick on the historical imagery box, and then that shows something pretty frightening. Like, share, subscribe.